What if I told you with these 6 tips, you can become a better storyteller, a better content creator, a better public speaker, and a more confident speaker in general? I recently went to a masterclass for public speaking hosted by Brendon Burchard, and I extracted 6 of the most important points from his masterclass to come share with you guys. He also had featured guests on, such as Mylett and ex-NFL player Anthony Trucks. So I'm super excited to share their wisdom with you and just have a discussion about it. So jumping into the first tip is master vocal control. Vocal control is so important by catching your audience's attention. Vocal control, meaning like your tone of voice. So sometimes when you're super, super hyped and you can yell and you're so excited, you don't always want to stay up there always because you have to read your audience. But that's good. That gets your audience excited. It puts energy into the room. But then sometimes you want to grab their attention. And I say, you can be excited, but discipline means more than anything. Do you see how, like, when I whispered there and I kind of leaned in more to the camera that you guys might have been listening a little better? This is a great trick that public speakers use to catch their audience's attention. And also, regarding vocal control, pausing is a huge, important thing in this. Too many people who speak or make content are afraid of silence, but that silence in between points is where the point hits. So it's like you have to be okay with silence because in that silence, there's a processing. The audience that is listening is processing what you just said. And what you don't want to do is be too monotone. Like, unless you're like comically monotone where it's like funny and it's like your niche or whatever, then that's okay. But like, you have to go up. You can't stay up all the time, and then you have to go down, but you can't stay down for too long, if that makes sense. You have to keep switching it up, make your audience feel emotion, make them feel attentive, and you just have to make them feel. Moving on to tip number 2 here is that it's not about you. I'll say that again. It's not about you. When you're serving people, when you're speaking, when you're creating content, you are trying to reach the guest. You want it to be for them. You want it to feel relatable. You want to even make them aware of problems they might be having, and you want to be compassionate about it. You want them to feel like you felt what it's like to be in their shoes before. So you want to tell me stories with you meaning. You want to tell stories that you've experienced and talk about what you truly are experiencing, but make it have a you meaning. Push it to the audience. Don't make it all about yourself. If you're telling a story about your personal life, make sure people are getting value from it. And this one ties so well into the first one of mastering vocal control because since it's not about you, you need to be attentive to what audience you're preaching to. Maybe your audience doesn't like if you're all hyped up. Maybe they don't like if you're saying, let's do this, let's go. Maybe they like the more softer tone, and maybe they really came there to get something from you and not have it feel like it's being pushed onto you constantly. Go, 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 call to action. You need to know your audience because at the end of the day, everybody has their own audience, your own niche, so you have to know who you are talking to. And that, my friends, is how you connect the audience together, how you make it feel more of a community. And something Mylett said during this masterclass is a great public speaker talks to the entire room, but the best public speaker speaks to the people individually. Number 3 is throw yourself into the unknown. This is huge. You're not going to be ready for everything. Sometimes you just have to make a big jump and just do it. What Mylett said too, which was one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard, is some of us are living life in the shallow end of the pool with our floaties on. We are living and playing the game too safe, playing the game of life too safe. So put yourself in those positions you're not entirely prepared for. I know for me in this video, I'm not a good editor, and I would have loved to release something like this when I have those editing skills, but it's not going to happen right away. And the only way I'm going to get better is if I get those repetitions. And to get those repetitions, I have to throw myself in the game. You have to go in with imperfect conditions. I'm just hoping maybe this video style will feel more authentic, and that's why you'll want to watch me again. Just kidding. I just don't know how to edit. And you're always going to feel unprepared. It's never going to get easier. And the simple things will get easier but the demands of yourself are going to keep growing. So just throw yourself in there, knowing that you're going to constantly, each time, if you want to be great, come back and want to improve on something. And that's just how it works. So you just got to throw yourself in there. Now, this is number 4, and it's facts tell, stories sell. I love this one because it's just like, I'm not here spewing facts and facts and facts. I'm here telling stories about how I went to this growth day masterclass, and I'm trying to reach you guys and tell you guys what I learned from it, and maybe it'll benefit you guys. Stories are just more relatable. When you're telling a story and you're not just spewing facts, it just sounds more authentic. And this also ties into it not being about you, because you want to tell me stories with you meaning. You're trying to reach your audience, and I love how beautifully all of these tie into each other. It's like a beautiful science. So number 5 is called virtual reality. It's kind of what it sounds like a VR headset. And it's the way you tell a story. It's the art of storytelling. So, for example, I went to the beach last week. That's really boring, isn't it? I went and my feet were in the sand, and I was looking at the ocean breeze, hearing the waves slap against each other. As I gripped the sand with my toes, I was very grounded with the earth, and the sun was out, and the clouds were passing it, making all sorts of beautiful shadows, and the humming of the beach was just so beautiful, and it was just amazing, and I would rather be in no other place. I didn't actually go to the beach. This is just an example. Like, you can't be so blunt about things. You have to paint a beautiful picture so people want to watch and people want to listen, because you have to put them in the story you're telling. Use strong vocabulary. I'm sure many people who are watching this have way better vocabulary than me, and use it. You want to use strong vocabulary. You want to make it feel as if they have a VR headset on and they're there experiencing what you are talking about. And last but not least, number 6. This one is an ironic one because it has to do with the ending. This is number 6. This is the last tip, and I think this might be the most important one too. And it's begin with the end in mind. There's way too many people who are content creators, and we all know them. I previously was one of them before this master class I went to. There's content creators, storytellers, and just journalists, public speakers, all sorts of people who don't know when to stop talking. Sometimes you need to stop talking, and you don't have to finish off on like a banger point. Like, it doesn't have to be a crazy good point you're making. Mic drop, leave the room, everything's awesome, you did amazing. It doesn't have to be like that. If anything, make it feel like emotional. Make it feel like you guys learned something, and I hope you really apply this knowledge that I'm giving you. And whatever you want to do the best you can and learn as much as you can. And that's how I'm going to end it. See ya.